Yo, what's going on, everyone? This is Jonathan Hernandez of the Lakers Legacy Podcast. And in today's video, let's talk about the other type of big that Luka Doncic has requested of the Lakers moving forward. And today we're going to talk about the pick and pop spacing big man. No, unfortunately, I do not think that Maxi Kleber is the answer. So I guess you could call me a non-Bekleber. So then who am I talking about? Now, obviously, if you've seen the thumbnail to this video, you know exactly who I'm talking about, but just humor me a little bit and play along. Am I talking about popular Lakers fan target Nikola Vucevic? No, I am not. Am I talking about Bobby Portis? No, that's a good option. How about someone super hipstery, like the Washington Wizards two-way spacing big man, Tristan Vukcevic? I'm not talking about him, but he is a target that I would like at some point, especially because he's just on a two-way contract. Am I talking about former Laker Thomas Bryant? No, I am not, although I do think he would be a good spacing big option, although I do think that he's also playing overseas. So then who the heck am I talking about? So in today's video, I want to talk about another spacing big man that I feel like people never bring up for whatever reason, but he has always been one of my favorites. Again, obviously, if you've seen the thumbnail to this video, you know exactly who I'm talking about, but we shall dive into his profile a little bit deeper and get into some of his numbers, as well as watch some of his tape. But before we get into all of that, if I could please ask you guys to like this video, comment down below, and most importantly, please hit subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. I just hit over 4K subscribers this past week, and I want to thank you guys for helping me do that. Thank you to those who have been along for the journey. You are an OG Lakers Legacy Podcast supporter, and I appreciate you all. And if you would like to support me beyond a like, comment, and subscribe and help me out in any small way financially, you can check out the links in the description box for my Buy Me a Coffee, my Patreon, and my YouTube channel membership, where you guys can get free exclusive videos and membership monthly perks, all for the price of less than your iced mocha or your weekly iced matcha. So think about that, because it really helps me out a lot, and it really helps keep the lights on, because Adobe really sticks it to us creators on a monthly level by burning a big fat hole in our wallets. All right, with all of that house cleaning out of the way, let's get into the real meat of this show, and let me talk about my favorite pick and pop big man that I think the Lakers should trade for. Zach Collins. So Zach Collins is currently on an $18 million expiring contract. He is a power forward / center. He is still only 27 years old. Zach Collins is 6'11" in height with a 7'1" wingspan, and he weighs 249 pounds. Last season, he split time with the San Antonio Spurs before getting traded to the Chicago Bulls, but with the Chicago Bulls, Zach Collins averaged 8.6 points, 6.7 rebounds, 2.1 assists, and hit 0.6 threes. So if you have followed this page long enough, or if you have listened to my podcast long enough, you would know that I am a huge Zach Collins fan, and he has been a trade target that I've been trying to highlight for the Lakers over the last 1 or 2 years. Well, now Zach Collins is actually an expiring contract. Is he a little overpaid at $18 million? Yes, but with the cap rising, that number is just $3 million above the full MLE. And I think on his next deal, Zach Collins will be much cheaper. This deal is coming from a contract that he signed like 4 years ago with the Portland Trail Blazers. So it's kind of a carryover sort of contract and not what he's currently market valued at, I believe. But anyways, Zach Collins is an expiring $18 million. He's still only 27 years old, so right smack dab in his prime. And in his career, in his history, as a San Antonio Spur, as a Portland Trail Blazer, he has showed off a ton of versatility. Now, he's not exactly the Kevin Love type of pick and pop big that you'd want in terms of just a flat out shooter who can hit 2 threes a game at great percentages. He's not even necessarily a Kelly Olynyk type of shooter, but I will say that he does a pretty good job of approximating what a guy like Kelly Olynyk does. And in fact, I have called Zach Collins a younger, more mobile version of Kelly Olynyk. And for anyone who's ever watched Zach Collins play, you would know that this dude plays very tough. He's got a grit and grime about him that I really like. He doesn't back down from anyone. He will meet people at the rim. And even though he doesn't have the gaudy shot blocking numbers to his name, he's a dude who always tries on defense. He's willing to muck it up. And again, there have been times where he really meets dudes at the rim, challenges them head on, and he's not afraid of physical contact. So even beyond the pick and pop spacing abilities, I really like Zach Collins in terms of his toughness and grit. Now, if we're actually talking about his overall basketball game, he's a big man who can kind of do a little bit of everything. He rebounds the ball pretty well, 6.7, nearly 7 rebounds in just about 20 minutes per game with the Bulls last season is very impressive. He's a very underrated passer, 2 assists a game. During one season, he was averaging almost 3 assists a game. His best season in the NBA came with the San Antonio Spurs in 2022-23 when he averaged 11.6 points, 6.4 rebounds, 3 assists, 0.6 steals, 0.8 blocks on 52% from the field and 37% from 3, knocking down almost 1 3 a game. So that stat line, and he did all of that, by the way, in just 23 minutes a game. That stat line just kind of shows you his versatility because he can rebound the ball, he can pass, he gets some steals, he almost averaged a block, shot 52% from the field, and he can knock down that 3 ball. Now, again, he only hit 1 3 a game. You kind of wish that was more in the 1.8 to 2 threes a game range, but for a big man to be able to hit 1 3 a game on 37%, that is very impressive. And to prove that that wasn't a fluke, the next season in 2023-24, he averaged 11 points again, 5.4 rebounds, 2.8 assists, 0.8 blocks, 32% from 3, so it went down, but he still almost hit 1 3 a game at 0.8. So again, is he a volume 3-point shooter in the likes of a Kevin Love or a Naz Reid or a Bobby Portis? No, but he is a capable enough spacer where teams will have to respect his game from beyond the 3-point arc. And under JJ Redick, you'd have to assume that he'll have more of a green light to let that thing fly, especially on the corner baseline. So I believe in Zach Collins' ability to space, but more so, I just believe in his overall versatility and his toughness on the defensive end as well. And look, we're not looking at Zach Collins to even be a starter. He's going to be a backup big man. And if you can get 9 points, nearly 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 0.8 to 1 3 a game, and have this really solid 5-out big man who you can trust to run the offense for you and be that satellite big at the top of the key, slinging bounce passes to backdoor cutters, being a great DHO guy, rolling to the basket, and then sometimes even rising for a tomahawk jam. I really like what Zach Collins can bring on multiple levels, not only as a pick and pop big, but as a passer, as a mid-range jump shooter, as a guy who can actually put the ball on the floor and beat loafing big man with a quick first step to the rim. And overall, I just love that he doesn't shy away from physicality, even though he does seem to have sort of a slighter frame to him. And so if the Lakers can turn someone like Gabe Vincent and Maxi Kleber, or Maxi Kleber plus Dalton Connect, and add a veteran minimum guy like Jackson Hayes into a Zach Collins. Now, again, he's expiring, so that might be kind of problematic. If we're going to give up Dalton Connect to the Chicago Bulls, we would maybe have to expand the trade a little bit. But I'm not sure the logistics of how the Lakers get there. But if they're able to trade for Zach Collins, I would absolutely welcome that, because this is a dude who at 27 years old can actually be a part of the Lakers' Luka future moving forward. I would love to have him as a staple coming off of the bench because of all the connective glue things that he can do on both ends of the court. And the other thing that I want to say about Zach Collins, as opposed to a guy like Nikola Vucevic or a guy like Brook Lopez, is the fact that Zach Collins is a lot more mobile and athletic than those guys. And so instead of getting an aging, loafing, lumbering Nikola Vucevic who doesn't really show signs of any defensive life, I would rather get the younger version of Vucevic in Zach Collins, because I know that he has a longer lifespan moving forward. And while he's not the offensive powerhouse that Nikola Vucevic is, He kind of does everything that Vucevic does to a solid enough level that I'm willing to make that swap for the younger, faster, grittier, and tougher player. All right, so to close this video, I want to watch some Zach Collins film with you guys, and I specifically want to watch his highlights from a game that he had with the Bulls last season versus the Los Angeles Clippers when he dropped 21 points, 17 rebounds, had 7 assists. So this game is kind of a perfect encapsulation of Zach Collins' versatility. So I'm going to pull up his tape and kind of like a reaction video. I'm just going to react with you guys in real time to his highlights from this Clippers game where he had 21, 17, and 7, which is just bonkers numbers. All right, so why don't you guys sit back and relax and let's watch this tape while I comment above it. I may stop and start, but for the most part, I'm just going to let this run. Here's Lonzo Ball, Zach Collins, nice screen. Assist to Lonzo Ball for the DHO. Here's Zach Collins making his way down. We've got Josh Giddey. Zach Collins with the top of the key 3. So there's the pick and pop big that I'm talking about. Here he is rolling. Josh Giddey gets the offensive putback. Really nice. Zach Collins with a nice pitch out to Josh Giddey. Pick and roll play. Slips the roll, slips the screen, gets the nice lay-in. Grabs the board, one of his 17 boards, running back. Look at him rim running. Nice layup, beats the Clippers down the court, beats Ben Simmons down the court. Here he is, DHO stuff. Ooh, nice bounce pass to, I don't even know who that is. That is Trey Jones. Really nice bounce pass there. There he is, slipping the screen once again. Gets into the paint, flips up the nice shot. Here he is at the top of the three-point arc. Very nice bounce pass to the cutter. I believe that's, I don't even know who that is. Dalen Terry. Here he is at the top of the key. Screens for Kobe White. Three-point shot. Zubac has to lunge out, and he drains the shot. So that's 2 threes in this game already for Zach Collins. Again, there's your pick and pop big. Here he is grabbing the offensive board. Immediately screens for Josh Giddey. Josh Giddey gets the 3. Is he going to hit this? No. Okay. So he shoots the 3, gets his own offensive rebound, then pitches it out to Lonzo Ball. Very good awareness in the midst of chaos. Here he is as the satellite 5-out guy. Very nice bounce pass again to a cutting Lonzo Ball. I just love his decision-making, his quick decision-making, his crisp reads. Here he is guarding Zubac in the post. What's he going to do? Obviously, he has to leverage most of his weight against him, but look, pushes Zubac, gets the turnover. Maybe he would have been called for a foul, but you just love that he fights down low and doesn't give up ground. Where is he in this play? He is coming up the floor. There he is. Nice two-handed jam. Here he is setting the screen for Josh Giddey. He's going to roll. Nice. Stays in the dunker spot, flips it up over his head for the reverse layup. And so, yeah, that does it for our Zach Collins experience. I mean, again, 21 points, 17 rebounds, 7 assists. He showed off his three-point shot. He showed off his crisp passing. He showed off his nice, solid DHO fundamentals as the satellite big man, operating all around the court, setting screens, setting off screens, rolling to the basket, making sure he's crashing the glass. Just a really good encapsulation of, once again, his versatility and his connective play on both ends of the court. So what do you guys think about Zach Collins? Because I think he's the most underrated pick and pop big man who's not over the hill because he's still smack dab in his prime at 27 years old. And I think he has real potential, especially as a backup big man moving forward. And he can even start for you in a pinch as well if one of your centers goes down. He has started in the past for the San Antonio Spurs. I know this firsthand because I used him a lot in fantasy basketball. So I know that Zach Collins has got the juice when his name is called. But yeah, what do you guys think about Zach Collins? I think after this year, the Lakers may be able to sign him to a more palatable contract. But yeah, $18 million expiring. I think if the Lakers do engage with the Bulls, they may want to expand a deal with Zach Collins. Although, again, his $18 million does make that problematic because it's such a big number. But I don't think the Lakers would have to give up too much of anything to get Zach Collins, because the Bulls likely want to get anything for Zach Collins so that they don't lose him for nothing. But yeah, what do you guys think about Zach Collins? Let me know in the comments down below. And please remember to like this video. And most importantly, please hit subscribe. Once again, also consider becoming a member to the YouTube channel. You will get monthly exclusive perks and exclusive videos. I believe I have about 5 or 6 exclusive videos that are still relevant up there right now. You could binge all of them in one go for as little as $3.99. Again, that's not even the price of your weekly iced mocha. So consider helping a brother out in that way. No worries if you can't. Again, just click subscribe and share this video to your friends. And as usual, keep supporting, keep watching. I really appreciate it. This has been Jonathan Hernandez of the Lakers Legacy Podcast, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace.